to organize your amazing ideas into a powerful book? You are in the right place.
At the right time to learn how to write your book.
Hi, I'm Joyce Glass.
And I'm Sherry Lynn Bisbano, and welcome to The Right Hour Nonfiction Tips from the Right Coach team. We are so glad you joined us today.
Welcome to episode 904 of The Right Hour. You are going to love our high-energy guest, my mentor, Katya Varbanova. She shares the importance of creating shareable and reliable content with a focus on your reader. Katya is a viral video creator and marketing strategist who helps creators of impact to reach more people through social media. As the founder of 20K Nation, she teaches clients to grow and monetize their audience online through creating viral content. Katya has worked with more than 1,500 clients and enabling many to go viral, being featured in TEDx talks, secure book deals, and sell $100,000 packages. She has spoken on stages across the world, reached more than 100,000 followers through her social media channels, and appeared in publications and podcasts, including Entrepreneur and The Smartest Guys in Marketing. Before starting her business, Katya worked in brand management and sales for nearly a decade, handling accounts for Hewlett-Packard and Superdry. These days, she and her partner are accidental nomads who travel the globe in search of their dream home. I joined Katya's 20K Nation group about a year ago, and it was the best decision I made to help me grow my business. 20K Nation is like a think tank, a mastermind, and business coaching all rolled into one. If it's not open at the time that you listen to this podcast, I suggest getting on the wait list. It is definitely worth the wait, and it's worth your time, your energy, and your money. The group is amazing. She has high-quality people in there. Anytime I need help with anything with my business, I know I can hop in that group and ask the question on one of the coaching calls, and I get excellent help. She has helped me through all of my launches and everything that I do with my business, and I know that you will love it too. If you have any kind of business that you want to grow, even your writing business, if you were just in a writing business that you're writing books, it's still a business, and she can definitely help you. So listen closely. Marketing your book, it can be fun, and you're going to learn the best options for you. This episode is sponsored by How to Build Your Audience on Twitter with Keith Keller and the Right Coach team. If you're writing a book, the time to grow your audience is now, before, during, and after you write your book. Don't make the mistake I did and wait till you are finished writing. It's too late, or you'll need to delay releasing your book to grow your audience. Learn the 4 easy and actionable strategies on how to grow your audience. Use the discount code for you to receive $10 off and learn more at the link in the show notes. Welcome to this episode of The Right Hour, and I am so excited to have my mentor with me, Katya Varbanova. Is that how you say it? I always struggle saying your last name.
That is exactly how you say my name, girl.
Awesome. Well, I want to know, and I'm sure my listeners will be excited to know, because we're doing this season is about social media and how to grow your audience on social media for writers, which is very important. And one of the things I'm stressing is this needs to be done before you even finish your book.
Oh my God, before you even start your book.
Exactly. I mean, you can start it before you start your book. Exactly. And I probably need to make that point too, but especially before. And I met somebody yesterday on Twitter. He's finished his book, has a contract, it's coming out in the fall, and he's done 0 marketing. And I'm like, oh, dude. You've really got a lot to do. So tell us how you became an international viral video creator and marketing strategist, because I know you had an interesting journey. I mean, you weren't sitting around at 7 years old going, I want to be a marketing strategist.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I went to law school. I thought I was going to be a lawyer and protect the good guys from the bad guys. That was my dream. So I came across Periscope back in 2015 while I had that 9 to 5 job. And I came across it and I was using it just for fun. I was just watching people on Periscope. It was just so exciting to watch people live, and had absolutely no intention to ever go live on the platform or to ever do anything with the platform. It just happened that over the couple of weeks that I was on it, I made some friends just through watching other people and engaging with others in the comments. And one day I got forced to go live so that those friends can meet me. And I had an anxious, almost a panic attack just of the idea of going live. At the time, I had 0 following. I had my followers were my friends, my family, my law school classmates, and high school classmates, and that was it. So 2015, no followers, anxiety from the idea of going live, and just no plans to make money or anything of that.
Right.
That was in August of 2015. And then as I started going live after I got forced into it, I started getting a little more comfortable, and I actually found out that it wasn't as bad as I thought. Any of you that aren't showing up consistently on social media, worrying about the worst parts of social media, once you do it consistently, I think you will realize it's not as bad as you expected. So that's what I found out very quickly. And I actually started enjoying it. I started enjoying making relationships through the platform. I one day decided, hey, it would be really fun if I gathered people together in a community and we could all support each other and we could all share each other's broadcasts and help each other reach more people. That was the goal of that. So I created a free Facebook group. I moved about 150 people from Periscope onto the Facebook group, and we started collaborating. We started sharing each other's Periscopes. We started jumping on calls and getting to know each other. And the community just became this incredible family-like environment that I never planned and went out to create. I found myself a couple of weeks later feeling really exhausted because it was really time consuming. My job was time consuming. So I decided to give it a punt and think, why don't I just charge for this? And the current members can stay in as they are, but any new members I can charge for because there's clearly demand for this. People clearly want to be part of this. So I put a nominal fee at the time, and I put an application form. 20K Nation, which is the community today, has had an application form since day one, always pre-vetting the people and making sure that we only bringing people that are in alignment with our values, with our culture, with what we do. And within about a couple of weeks of that, I set up the company September 19th. And by October 10th, so that's 2-3 weeks. But in that period, I got 60 brand new paying members into the community. I looked at my bank account and I noticed that monthly income now replaced my full-time job income. Right. And I didn't thought about it. I did not set out and say, oh, I'm going to quit my job in 30 days. And I did not set out to do that. I literally was just having fun, bringing people together, and just thought, oh, here's an opportunity to monetize it. Here's an opportunity to show up and serve and do something fun. And it just ended up quitting my job so quickly. And I just became obsessed with it.
And for those that don't know Katya, this is Katya's MO for a lot of things still. She has this knack of, hey, I got this idea. Let's try it. Bam.
Let's try it. I honestly, I have this tendency to just, wouldn't it be fun if I did X, Y, and Z, and then I do it, and then I end up making so much money from it that I did not plan out to do. That has been the story of my life, to be completely honest. So that's really what happened at the time. And after noticing how quickly I did it, in my head, I thought everybody grows businesses so fast. Like I thought, oh, well, if I did this, surely everybody else does it too, right? If it was so easy for me, clearly it must be easy for everybody else.
No, the answer is no. That's why I'm in 20K Nation. But yeah.
But it's funny because, yes, it took me time to realize that some people have been trying for years, and they still haven't been able to replace their full-time income. And I just became really obsessed with studying as to why it happened and looking back as to why it happened. The real secret to the fact that I was able to sell out 60 members into the membership was the fact that for the month and a half that I was on the platform, I built 1,300 followers that were following me, interested in my opinions, my perspectives, my knowledge. And I had a small percentage of those, 60, commit to joining my membership. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have those 1,300 people, if I just came out of nowhere and I said, hello, I'm a stranger to all of you, but here's an offer that I can sell you, it wouldn't have worked. So
no,
because of that, I just became obsessed with understanding why things grow and understanding how to build an audience fast and understanding social media. I just became obsessed with it. I went on to build, in my very first year of social media growth, I went on to build over 30,000 followers in my very first year. And then from there, I've gone on to build over 100,000 across different platforms, including random places like TikTok and even some really random places. If there's a social media platform that I've wanted to explore and I've wanted to grow on it, I have cracked the code for it just because of the sheer fun factor for me. Like, I just find it so fun to grow audiences and to reach more people. So,
well, I think it's kind of funny now how you were scared to be on video, but that is
so much.
That's your thing. Now is being on video is your thing. So that was so funny.
You know how people say sometimes we become what we wish we could have been years ago. So I think the reason I became such a big proponent of video and helping my clients with video and going viral in general was because I was so terrified of it and because I was able to overcome it. So it felt very closely to me to be able to achieve something like that just for my own personal self-growth, really.
Right. Well, what do you consider to be viral content and how does a writer create it? Because I heard your definition recently of viral content and realized, it's not always what everybody considers it. You doesn't necessarily mean you got 1 million views.
No.
So explain your definition of it and how can a writer create it?
To me, so the first question is the definition. So let's talk about that. To me, viral is not about a specific number that is being thrown by a marketing governmental body that says, oh, if you make a video that gets 3 million views in 7 days, that's viral. I don't look at it that way. I look at it in terms of ratio of reach versus audience. So if you have an audience of 1,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't matter the platform. Let's say you have 1,000 followers on Instagram. If you can create a piece of content that reaches 5,000 people, to me, that is gone viral. Because if it reaches more people than already follow you, that means that it's being shared.
Right.
Because it's shareability. Virality simply means shareability. So if you got 1,000 followers and you got 5,000 people that have seen your piece of content, that means that a lot of your 1,000 followers have been sharing it along with their friends. Right. Therefore, it has become viral to that small community. Anything that you share, you turn into the potential to becoming viral. Now, there's different levels of viral, and sometimes you can go mega viral and have millions of views. I have a pieces of content like that. And then you can go viral just by every single day. I have an account on Instagram that has less than 5,000 followers. And it would very often, I would have a post on it that would reach like 60,000 people with one post.
Wow.
Just because I understand social media, the algorithms, what kind of content people share. Really, virality is shareability. So on your second question, how can writers use that is they need to focus on creating content that others will share.
Right.
They need to focus on shareability. They need to focus on engagement, and they need to focus on also relevancy to their entire business model. Like it's of no service to you as a writer to go viral about something that's not even linked to your expertise. Like there's no value to you to have a cat meme go viral when you are a health and wellness author. It's just not going to happen. Right.
That's a very important point you make there, is that the relevance. And, and some people, especially, I focus on nonfiction, but there's also this question, people with fiction. Well, I write fiction. What am I going to write about? Well, it's like, well, what do you talk about in your book? And that's the same thing with nonfiction. What do you talk about in your book is what you need to be sharing on social media, encouragement, help. You're always talking about different forms of marketing because that's your thing, is marketing. And for those that don't know Katya, and we'll have links, you need to follow her on all social media, and you'll learn a lot just by following her.
Just by watching.
Yeah, and then see what she does and do it, emulate it in a way that relates to your personality and your content. Because like I actually said yesterday, I did mention you on Erin's podcast. I said, we were talking about doing things with your personality. And I said, if I went and did a parody like Katya did of Taylor Swift's song, I would look like an idiot because that's not me. That's not my personality. My personality is more of the sarcastic humor kind of thing, or dry humor. If I went and tried to do what Katya did, I would look stupid because I'm not Katya. That's not my personality. And that's the same thing we want everybody to know is go see what people are doing, but that doesn't mean you have to do exactly what they're doing. Figure out what works for you, your kind of humor, your personality. So, and that's one of the things that I've loved about 20K Nation. It's not a, here's what I did. You need to do X, Y, Z, just like me. It's, hey, this is what I did. Figure out how this works for you. And I like that. So talking about, fear now, because a lot of writers, marketing, social media, they haven't been on it in this way, and they're terrified of going live on social media, just like you had talked about. What helps them get over that fear and work through it?
So to me, the reason I was scared of it was I was worried that I wouldn't look good on camera. I think all women can relate to not feeling camera ready. So that was a big concern for me. Another big concern was I was afraid that people might think I am dumb or silly. Like, oh, who am I to show up and talk about my thoughts? Like, my thoughts aren't worth anything. Like, who am I to talk about networking, or who am I to talk about Periscope, or who am I to talk about any of those things? Am I really an expert? Do I really have anything valuable to share? I think we often judge ourselves and how valuable we are as people, or how valuable our knowledge is, because we think that what we know is common sense. Isn't it true that you, as an author listening to this, very often you have expertise or knowledge around maybe personal development, and sometimes you come across somebody that has never heard of it, and you're like, wow, I thought everybody knew about this. Yeah. Let's take an example. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a very famous framework that a lot of people know. So a lot of people would think, well, there's no need for me to go live and create content around stuff like Maslow's hierarchy of needs because everybody knows it. So what really helped me is, what really helps my clients to understand is that just because you know it doesn't mean everybody else does. In fact, what usually comes natural to you tends to come really hard for others. Really, really hard. It took me a long time to realize that I am a natural money manager. I am extremely good at managing my finances and never overspending, always having savings. I noticed I am naturally good at that. And I've never had problems with not having enough money to pay my taxes or not having enough money to pay my team. I've never, ever, ever had struggles with overspending. And yet very often I would come across entrepreneurs who they would say to me, oh, I don't have enough money to pay my taxes. And to me, I think to myself, wow, isn't it common sense to put the money aside for your taxes? And they're like, no, nobody ever told me that. And so I didn't think of that. So I really want to implore on you as an expert to never assume that people know what to do. Right. Don't assume that everybody has the answers that you do. In fact, that is the easiest way to not help anybody. By speaking up about your knowledge, you can actually help people that you didn't even know they needed help. And the other thing is, I think if you're worried about being judged on camera, which is it's a normal fear, I really want to challenge you to look at going live not as something where you have to do or something that, oh, I got to do it, but I don't want to. I really want you to look at it as an opportunity to test and just experiment. Like how we said, Joyce, remember how I always just go into new opportunities and just say, wouldn't it be fun if I tried this?
Right.
And not expecting anything. So go live and do videos, but don't expect anything in return. Like, don't expect that 10 people will show up. Don't expect compliments. Don't expect people will watch it. Don't expect anything. Show up for yourself. Show up for the people that need your help. And just test it. Like, just say, okay, I'm just going to test to see what happens. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm not going to have any preconceived notions. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm just going to test it. And I think that will calm down a lot of the anxiety and a lot of the fear of judgment, because then you're not doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to show up and show off. You're doing it to serve, and you're doing it to experiment. If you think of it as an experiment, I think it's a lot lighter.
Yeah, it takes that pressure off. I like that. And I'm sure your first videos were not near as good as your videos are now. I mean, so that's the other thing. It's a learned behavior. You learn how to show up. And I've had speaking experience. So I was trained to be a professional speaker. So coming to video, it's a little different, but there's some of the same aspects that you use with video. And of course, what I like with Facebook Lives, it is a little more casual. Mm-hmm. So, if your kid comes in, your dog comes in, you can say, hey, hold on a second.
Yes.
Or, hey, here's my kids. She's going to wave, So it's not like you're on the national news and your kid shows up,
No. Remember that clip of the guy who's
he was a politician, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And he was making some kind of announcement, and his kid walks in the room, and the nanny comes in to get her. So I do remember that. I was thinking of that when I said that.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing with Facebook Lives. People expect it to be more casual. And any kind of live is much more casual. So take it, like you said, take that pressure off yourself and test it. And here's the other thing. If you really hate it, you can delete it.
Voila. You totally can.
Yeah. So, and I've also heard that you can, is it on your profile? You can just have it, just like test it and have just you showing, like it only shows to you, so that you can test it and see how it works and looks too, I think is another thing you can do. just to kind of get that feeling, or even just record yourself on camera, whether it's on your computer,
like I know that obviously for some people they might need to do it slower. Like for some people, instead of diving right into live, maybe start with Instagram stories, maybe start with recorded videos, maybe start with something smaller and then build your way up. I think it's very important, and this is actually very true for every aspect of business. I believe it's super important for us entrepreneurs, experts, to really invest the time and the money understanding ourselves and what works for us. If what works for you is to take things at a slow pace, then please take it at a slow pace.
Right.
Start small. For me, I know just that doesn't work. You either have to plunge me in the pool or I am not dipping my toe. I am just like that. I am not one of these people that is, dive, put one foot and then another and then dip my knees. No, I'm a plunger. I got to plunge or else it's not happening.
Dive in and get her done or it's over, right?
But that's me. And I'm not here to say that everybody should do it like me and everybody should just jump in the pool with live streaming or content. I understand that there are different preferences. But what I do not understand is people who decide that they're not going to do it because of their fears. Okay, so you're saying you want to do it, but you're not going to do it. That's the worst thing you can do. Being indecisive is making a decision. Mm-hmm. You're deciding to not do it. That's what really, really frustrates me with entrepreneurs. The indecisiveness is way worse than any decision you could make.
Yes, that drives me crazy too, because I'm a very decisive person. And it's like, it's A or it's B and let's go. And somebody, and when I was doing interior design and even with this, any client that I had, if they were indecisive, would drive me insane if they took forever. I understand I'm not sure if I'm going to go this way or this way, the book, I understand kind of contemplating that. But I want to work with you, but I don't know. And drag me on for months and then just never do anything. That kind of person, I'm like, just make a decision and let me know and I'll let you go, because I'm tired of this, whatever. And I know some people need time, but again, the bottom line is just being decisive. So I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, what is the biggest mistake that writers or entrepreneurs, because I know you work mostly with entrepreneurs, make when they're creating videos?
The biggest mistakes when creating videos, so I'm going to assume that we're talking about those who've already made the decision. They're not flip-flopping. They have decided and now they want to do it, but they want to do it right and they want to avoid the mistakes. So let's talk about you guys. The number one thing you need to realize is that you don't have to be perfect to do it. You don't have to have the perfect equipment. You don't have to have the perfect setup. If you were to just make a video and just have good sound, good microphone, that in itself is going to make a big difference. So when it comes to videos in particularly, the sound is the most important thing. The rest really doesn't matter so much. And it doesn't even have to be perfect sound. You don't have to buy an expensive microphone. I use microphones that are under $50 to use, and they last me a year or two, depending on how often I use them. And they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You don't have to go and buy anything super crazy and professional in any way. A lot of people go in the extreme where they feel like, oh, I got to spend a couple $1,000s on equipment before I can go live. I have this friend of mine. It drives me nuts. He is like, oh, Katya, I have bought the 1 gigabyte fastest internet, and I have bought the $5,000 camera, and I have bought this. And I'm like, okay, so what have you done with it? Well, I'm still like, I'm trying to collect it. I'm trying to collect the equipment. And I'm just like, why do you need to spend $5,000 on a camera if you're not even making money from videos? I bought my first camera about year 3, after 3 years after I was making money from my videos. Mm-hmm. Because I reached a point where actually buying a camera was an asset for me.
Right. It made sense. It was, you were to that point that you needed it.
It's correct. Yeah. So if you're new to it, I would say don't invest in equipment. Invest your money in getting accountability, getting coaching, getting support, learning marketing skills, learning psychology. Invest your money in that, because those are the skills that are actually going to generate you ROI right now, not a $5,000 camera. So that's number one. Don't be perfect with it. Another mistake people do is they make it all about themselves. So there's the two types. There's the people that are the overly me people, and then there's the overgivers. So let's talk about those two. The overly selfish video creators are the ones that show up on video and they just expect everybody to be there. They just expect everybody to look at them and adore them and love them. And if they don't get that, they're out. They're like, I'm not doing this again. I didn't get enough attention. I didn't get appreciation. It's just the wrong way to look at this. Like, if you really, honestly, if you want to go live and if you want to make content just for your own vanity and just for yourself, then might as well go get a job and make that your hobby. Seriously. Right. Like, don't try to make a business out of, I just want everyone to look at me. Like, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Because people don't watch other videos you're not a celebrity. Unless you're a Kim Kardashian, they're not going to watch you because they're interested in your life. Right. They're not going to watch you because of that. They're going to watch you because there's knowledge that they want to absorb, or there's a perspective they want to hear that is going to help their situation. So you really have to not make it about you and not make it about, well, if there's nobody there, then they don't deserve me to show up, so I'm not going to show up. I think that's just it's just a very weird way to look at it. And I promise you, Joyce, I know for you that's like very alien because you're not that type of person, but I'm telling you, there's so many people out there.
Oh, I've seen them.
You have so many people out there. They would like come to me and say, Katya, I really care about what I do and my clients, but I really don't want to show up. And it's like, right. So what you're telling me is that you value your own vanity over helping people. And they're like, oh shit. Oh. and then they have a bit of an aha moment, realizing that if you want to help people, go help people. Forget about your own vain self. Forget about your own, what are people going to think of me? Who cares? You're not there to please. You're there to help. And then the other type of people are the overgivers, right? Mm-hmm. They're the ones who go live and they give everything. Like, they are the ones that would go live and they would coach people for free. They're the ones that are going to respond to every single person on Messenger, and they're going to help them for free. They're going to coach them for free. They're going to give all their energy for free. And then they end up doing so much video and so much content creation, and then they end up making nothing. And then one day they wake up feeling resentful towards what they're doing, and they end up feeling resentful about helping people. And very often that comes from an inner side of them that gives in a way that is truly manipulative if you think about it, because they're only giving by expecting something in return. They're like, oh, I'm going to go live and I'm just going to help people, and they're just going to want to buy from me. Right. That's not how things work. Mm-mm. It doesn't work that way. You can't give by expecting something in return. You need to show up strategically without holding back, and then offer people different levels of access to you where they can pay. So share your knowledge freely, but don't give access to you. Don't coach for free. Right. Don't give your energy and time for free. But please give your knowledge away for free. Don't hold back on your knowledge. Hold back on coaching for free.
Right. Right.
That's what I really want to help people to understand.
Give them just enough to want more and move to that next level, right?
Well, it's not even a knowledge level of give them just enough. You can give them all the knowledge,
right?
But if they come back and say, how does that apply to me? That's coaching.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, here's a framework on how to go viral. And there's a difference between, here's the framework for your business on how you can go viral with your specific message.
Right.
So share information freely. Don't customize it for people for free.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. That is really good.
Give information, charge for customization. Simple.
And one of the things that I have learned from you this past year too is social media is about conversations. That's something that you stress a lot. And I like that, to keep that in mind. If you start conversations with people and then they get to know you, the closer they get to know you, the more then they will want to work with you if that's a need that they have, you know. So that was one of the big things that I have learned from you this past year is make it more conversational. And my group, we're doing something because of this series that we're doing on social media in my private Facebook group where we're helping each other. And one of the things that I told them, I said, you know, don't be a link dropper and then go, you know, where they drop a link and they don't say anything about it.
Drop and go.
Yeah. And it's like, come on now. Why do I need to open that link? You got to give me a reason. And what you're talking about is giving to people something that Keith shares to us. Keith did Twitter. He's our Twitter expert. And he calls it the 80-20 rule. And it's essentially what you're talking about is give 80%, you know, share other people's content, share other things, and 20% talk about your book or your course or your whatever, your blog post. Because and I'm sure you've seen this too. Have you ever been to somebody's profile and it's everything? Here's my blog post. Here's my blog post. Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, or my whatever, you know, and you're going, really? That's it? Okay. You know, and it's not interesting. You know, you got to spice it up. So what words of advice or encouragement do you have for writers who want to go viral with video and with their content on social media?
I would say, number one, don't try to rely on just one place. Like, don't try to rely just on Facebook or just on Instagram. Really study psychology of people in general. Study what makes people share something. Why do people share a certain amount of content? Why do people choose to comment and engage with a certain amount of content? A few pieces of content right now that are really going viral are infographics, whether that's inspirational quotes, whether they're sassy quotes, humor quotes, it doesn't matter. Anything quote related that is short, size bites, that spreads really easy because it's easy to consume and it's easy to share. And then the other type of content that is spreading really quickly is memes and humor. Anything that's funny, anything that's entertaining, anything that is relatable will spread really, really quickly. So I would say focus your energy on creating, whether graphics or whether it's written content, whether it's graphics, whether it's video, whether it's a live event, whatever it is, create content around those three main types of content, depending on your personality. You know, some of you are funny people. Go all in with memes. Some of you are wise, have a very wise vibe, and you just want to share clever frameworks, then create educational infographics. And then other of you probably are more so to inspire and get people to feel pumped up, and you want to share inspirational quotes or whatever it is, then go with that. The question here is, what's more you? What's more on brand for you? And of course, there's a million types of different content that, there's so many different ways to do it. But those are, I would say, the three ways that right now are taking over social media. And social media, people are engaging with that on social media. And you and I know that what people are engaging with, the platforms will push more of. Because what's the platform's goal? The platform's goal is to keep their users for as long as possible on the platform. And what's going to keep people for as long as possible on the platform are the things that they engage with.
Right. So
simple as that.
is speaking it to them at the time. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely. About pictures of you, like the perfect photos of you on the beach, or like that used to work back in the days of Instagram when Instagram wasn't so crowded. Like it worked really well. There was a time where pretty photos made you stand out. Nowadays, pretty photos, everyone's got them. And that's how you have to look at everything, really, not just social media. You have to see what are the things that used to trend that no longer work because there's too many people doing it. The moment everybody starts doing something, it no longer works. It's why I always tell people there is no such thing as a top best strategy for marketing. The best strategy for marketing is what's working right now that not many people are doing. The best marketing strategy is one where you can be a pioneer in a category or a pioneer of a way of marketing that not many people are doing.
Right.
And what worked 5 years ago doesn't work the same as now. 5 years ago, the easiest way in the world to get clients was to go into Facebook groups and promote yourself. Other people's Facebook groups, promote yourself, make money. It was the easiest thing in the world. I remember it because I was there. I saw it. Everybody made millions of it. Now, if somebody's trying to tell you that, oh, you can just go and promote yourself in other people's groups, everyone's trying to do that. It's much harder. So the best strategy you can do to promote your book, your writing, your expertise is really you have to market in a way that other authors aren't. You have to look at what everybody else is doing and see which ones are the innovators and follow those, and see which ones are kind of behind a curve because they've joined it 5 years late, and you have to ignore those. Really.
Yes. Well, and I know that you have something that helps people. Your viral content templates are great for Instagram and Facebook, right? Those are what they're mainly for.
So yes, we over the years, what happened was a lot of people kept asking me, how do you create content that always goes viral? How do you make things that are shareable? You know, what makes people share content? And I taught it for years. I taught it for the last 5 years. I taught everybody, all my clients, how to do it. And I realized in that process that no matter how much I teach it, there's still going to be some people that don't necessarily make it easy. Like they can understand it. They can understand the principle of going viral, and yet they can still struggle doing it. So we decided to put our highest performing viral tips and tricks and templates into a one bundle where we curated over 100 templates that right now are working on social media. So I've been collecting for years my own pieces of content. I've studied other people's content for years. And we decided to create a bundle of over 100 of these that you can buy it. It's available on Canva. You can, we give you Canva links to actually access it. But what happens is you can get the bundle. You can plug it into your Canva, use your brand colors, use your fonts and colors and logos, make it your own, and then just follow the structure. And those templates are already designed to produce infographics, quotes, and educational templates and things like that, so they can help you create the kind of content that's already working right now. So that's why we created what Joyce is referring to, the viral content templates. And it's been really great for our customers. We have had over 1,500 people buy them so far. I think we might reach 2,000 in the next couple of weeks. People are just loving the idea of,
they're
wow,
great.
Wow, like I can save 10 to 15 hours a month of graphic creation and content creation by just having those. So yeah, they have been a lifesaver for our clients, and people have been using them, and they have come out and say that they've had the most viral post they've ever had just because they use the templates. So, you know, they're not just designed for looking pretty on social media. While I care about things looking pretty, it's not my number one priority. My number one priority is going viral. My second priority is to look good. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll have a link to that in the show notes, but I appreciate you being here, Katya. This has been wonderful, and I know it's going to help my listeners. And I look forward to seeing you back in 20K Nation. And also, if you're interested in that, we'll have a link for that too, because she'll be opening that up pretty soon. And that is an excellent way. If you are a writer and you want to create a business model out of your writing, I highly recommend Katya, because I've been in the group and she has helped me tremendously with my business. And so I know it will help you. And there's a lot of diverse people in there. You know, there's all kinds of businesses in there. There isn't, I wouldn't say you have one kind of business. I mean, other than.
Oh no, we have like dozens and dozens of types of industries in there. But the common thing that we have in 20K Nation and with our customers is that they're all driven by wanting to create more impact on others. And also they're super driven by wanting to create a business that gives them freedom of choice and basically gives them limitless potential for their lives. And that's what I'm really passionate about. So, yes.
Yes. And she was talking about the application process, and you do have a very high quality group.
Yes, we have always had the application process, and we still do. And you know how I am a huge believer that that something is really, that something is special when it's been going on for 5 years and it still keeps going. It's not something that I started just in the flash of a pen and profited off it for a year and got out of it. I don't have an exit strategy for it. It's something that that's been for 5 years helping a lot of entrepreneurs. And, I am very grateful that you, Joyce, have been part of it now for over a year pretty much. And
right at a year. It was last April. So almost at a year. So it's a tremendous help. It is. And I mean, the other thing I love is, when there's a couple of times I've had some little crisis situations and I can jump in that group and say, oh my gosh, I need your help. Who can do this, or who can help me do this, or help me find somebody, or what about this? Should I do this or this, and I know I can go in there and trust those people that they're going to give me quality answers and not, well, you should try this maybe, and it may or may not work. I get high quality people, and people are concerned about each other. That's the other thing that's nice. I mean, whenever I do that, I always get private messages. Oh, I want to help you, or I'm so sorry. I hope this works out for you, something like that. And so it's not just a group that's just in there for themselves. They're out for each other. And I have to say, Katya, that is because of your leadership too. You are out to help others. And so it trickles down. So appreciate that.
That's so sweet of you to say. I do care about my people because I am, not because I am like an altruistic person that just wants to help people. It's truly because I think I'm just smart enough to understand that your success is my success. And the more I can help you succeed, the more my business grows. It's truly just that. I just know that the more people have an impact and the more people have success, that will help me in the long run as well. So
yes, it's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. If you are an author and if you have a message, remember that you do deserve to share that, and you do have something worthy of sharing. Maybe it's just a matter of sharing it in a way that's more creative to get heard. But please don't get discouraged if you haven't had success with social media. I really want to stress that.
Yes, it does take time sometimes to get it and learn it, because it is not, for most writers, it is not something that comes naturally because we're used to being in the cave working on the work. And so, that is something that it does take time sometimes. Well, thank you. And I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Right Hour. Our goal is to help you achieve your writing dreams.
You are one step closer to write your book.
Learn how to get the book out of your head with the 4 steps we teach our clients. Sign up for the free email series at therightcoach.biz. The link is in the show notes.
The 4 steps help you clarify your focus, create and organize your content, and complete your book. We share tips on the writing process, and you can download the writing planner to track your progress.
Don't let fear and overwhelm keep you from writing your book.
It's time to write your book.